My favorite adult author is Ann Tyler, though, because she writes about dysfunctional families, and I grew up in one, so it's fun to read those.
Relatable.
Yeah. Well, when my kids were little, I used to bring them to story time with Miss Wendy Allen. She did story time for my kids, bonding with them, making them smile and laugh. And that's when I realized what I wanted to be when I grew up. I'm more of a fiction reader. Well, I'm actually into the junior fiction. When I was, about 2006, I was on some committees for the South Carolina Junior Book Award nominees, and I was reading 50 to 100 chapter books a year, and it really got me stuck in that genre, and I really love that age group. No, I can only read one book at a time, but I'll read it all day and finish it and then start a new one. So really what got me started on my reading career was people reading to me. It really didn't matter what book it was just the fact of hearing the words and stories and falling in love with that. I just bought How to Be an Anti-Racist, and before I bought that, somebody suggested I listen to David Sedaris's book Calypso. So I started Calypso, so I haven't started How to Be an Anti-Racist, but that's the next one on my list. Well, I had something really funny today, and I'm just going to tell you. We were talking about a book, and it's called Snapdragon, and it's about an old lady who lives in the woods, and she does taxidermy. And someone told me today that I could be the witch that lives in the woods, and I thought that was really funny. But it was a compliment, really. I really love Mr. Rabbit and the Lovely Present. It's a very short picture book, but I love the pictures. They're by Maurice Sendak, and Mr. Rabbit helps the little girl find presents for her mother. And they didn't cost any money, and so I really like that. What she does is she makes her mother a fruit basket, and when Mr. Rabbit wants the little girl to give her mother a bird, she always says, "But birds belong in trees," and that's my favorite part of that book. I think this is a really funny thing for me to say, but I actually read The Water is Wide by Pat Conroy, and then I saw the movie Conrack, and to see him interact with his students on Defusky was very mind-changing in my view of how I should relate with children. And I saw this a long time ago. It was, probably almost new, but I just loved the way he poked at them and teased them and did weird things and made them run and learn about the Atlantic Ocean. So that was a real life-changing experience for me. I always recommend Hatchet as a child, for a children's reader. I love Sharon Creech, and she wrote Ruby Holler and Chasing Redbird. Those are two very good books. I don't read teen books. I really do stay in the juvenile section.
Yeah.
My favorite adult author is Ann Tyler, though, because she writes about dysfunctional families, and I grew up in one, so it's fun to read those.
Relatable.
Yeah. I'm Kathleen McTeer, and I work at the Beaufort Branch.